let's just get to it, shall we? Get those 10 oil slick lands, 10 of them. It's a nice set of those. Let's stop and take in this poetry here. Then you get the Phyrexian Arena in Phyrexian language. I enjoy the Phyrexian language cards. You can say, like, I can't read them, but you know what they do. You know what they do, right? And it's subtle, you know. It changes the card without changing the frame or whatever, so it has a very strong effect by also being pretty subtle. Right, Elish Norn in a couple of different ways. Okay, let's see what side. Fun boxes. I get my mileage out of these boxes. And all them set boosters. And all the cardboard nonsense. Sweet artwork on those, though. Again, with the art direction for the Phyrexia sets, with the ichor and all with the Geiger looking thing going on. I'm really into that. I'll deal with that later. All right. Subdivider in the box. I get plenty of mileage out of these boxes. All right. Here we have, those are the special ones right there. We'll wait on that. I opened up my expeditions first, but we will wait on that one. We'll tease that one out. Got the lands here. Funny enough, the non-showcase lands wasn't so much into these guys. They're all right. Right? A little diffuse. Not a fan of spiders. They're okay. They're all right. But nothing too crazy. It was the creepy deepy ones that I really liked. Which I believe are in here. Yes, these guys. That is sexy. Again, it's also diffuse, but still, it's a very strong statement either way. And all of them very different. So yes, yeah, in the Phyrexian language, really evocative. I like these guys. And you got that Phyrexian Arena. I said I know what it does. It's so they would lose a life, draw a card, something like that, but really neat. Again, just a slight change to the card with the language there, and the whole thing just becomes a completely different deal. So yeah, really like that one. All right, let's get to it. Set boosters, again, some potential for some fun stuff. Not the best fun. Oh, the more current. What do we got here? Expand the sphere. Ah, and gold signature. Wow, aren't I lucky? Thank you, Sergey. Mortem. Chrome Prowler. Enter the battlefield. Detain. Mandible Juice Sticker. Artifact enters the battlefield. He gets bigger. Orthodoxy Enforcer. +2/+1 when you control 2 or more artifacts. He gets bigger. Basilica Shepherd. Enters the battlefield. Create 2 1/1 Phyrexian Mites. I got stomped by a Skrell's Hive in the pre-release. I think it was the first game. They made good use of that. Those mites. I'm not a fan of Toxic. I'm not a fan of a situation that I can't do anything about. Like, no, there are no antidotes in this world. None. I think, what is there? 1 card in the game. Literally 1 card in the game that takes away poison tokens. Or poison counters. 1. You'd think there would be something else. Or it would fade over time. If I ever play with that at home, I might create a house rule that your body clears the poison gradually. It's still pretty powerful. You only need 10. But there has to be some way out of it. Phyrexian Porcelain Zealots. Beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Toxic. +2/+2. Bladed Ambassador. Remove an oil counter. Gains indestructible. White. So much white. Look at how much white in this pack so far. And that artifact was also white. All right. Okay. Let's get that Elish Norn, shall we? I would love to have 2 of those. Jawbone Duelist, double strike, Toxic 1, straightforward for 2 mana, not so bad. Draw a card, discard a card for 5, hard to use. Bone Picker Scourge. As long as the opponent has 3 or more poison counters, has Death Touch and Life Link. Okay. Mercurial Spell Dancer. Can't be blocked. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil counter. Whenever it deals combat damage, you remove 2 oil counters. If you do, when you cast your next instant, copy it. So for 2 oil counters and dealing combat damage, you can copy a spell. Take some setup, but that's cool. There's right easy dose, proliferate and detain. And yes, the token. Phyrexian Golem. Alright, I'm going right along here. White and blue. That was a white and blue pack, wasn't it? Yeah. Check it. So there's one black card. The rest was white and blue. Fascinating. Again, that's that structure thing that we were talking about. Maybe they went for it this time. I did not look that up. Got that token at the back. Single-sided token. Thank you. Okay. And Atraxa. Yes, Atraxa Grand Unifier. Nice. Okay. And I don't like, and it's the same one. Skull Bombs, that's Cycle of Bombs. Get bigger. Mazes, Mantle. When it enters the battlefield, if enchanted creature has toxic, more toxic, grains, hexproof. Branch Blight Stalker. 3/1 for 2 and toxic 2. Get rid of his canopy. Destroy things, and if it was tiny, proliferate. I'm a fan of proliferate. You can do so many different things with it. Thrumming Bird, proliferate when it deals combat damage. Flying 1/1 comes down early. You can get a few extra pops in with that proliferate. Easy to run. Mirror Convert, toxic 1, pay 2 life, and get a mana. So tap it to use Phyrexian mana, basically. Okay. Toxic with a Phyrexian mana function. Necrogen Rot Priest. Toxic 2, whenever it's a creature you control with toxic deals combat damage to a player, that player gets an additional poison counter. Poison. Really, I'm just looking around the poison, like anything that's not toxic or poison. That's what I'm interested in. Target creature you control with toxic gains a Death Touch. Canker Bloom. Do love this one. Sacrifice it for 1, and you can either destroy a thing, or proliferate. Options on a 3/2 body for 2. So that's good. We've seen you today. We'll move on. Soulless Jailer. Permanent cards in graveyards can't enter the battlefield. Players can't cast non-creature spells from graveyards or exile. So, yeah, just throwing a wrench into plans. So soulless because he's shutting down half the decks in the meta. Okay, that's fun. I do like that. Hey, and Conduit of Worlds. I have 2 of these. It's part of the deck that I made against my wife's just a minute ago. You can play lands from your graveyard, or you can play a spell from your graveyard, but you only get to play 1. I think that's fascinating. Limitation for yourself. But then again, you just need to plan on doing things without casting spells, activated abilities, and transforming, things like that. Do other things on your turn, but only plan to cast 1 thing, and you have a lot of options. That's why I really like that card. Good, 3. I like that. I'll create some consistency in that deck. The token is Phyrexian Golem. And that is Mondrak. Have him. Oh, landscape ones. Okay. I'm not a majorly red player, but now I've got 3 of the same lands. Okay. I was talking about consistency. I brought it on myself. Bring the ending. Extortion counterspell. Or just counter it. Rascus Fall. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker and gets a poison counter. So 3 to edict some things away. Annihilating Glare. As additional cost to cast this spell, pay 4 or sacrifice an artifact. An additional cost to cast this spell. Oh yeah, I saw this one. All right, the 1. The 1 mana, kill a thing. Complete Devotion. 2/2. Maybe draw a card. Ichor Plate Golem. Whenever a creature enters your control has one or more oil counter, if it has one or more oil counters on it, so you get an extra one when it comes in. Creatures you control with oil counters get +1/+1. In the bargain. Attracts a Skitterfang. Enters the counters, as we were saying, with 3 oil counters on it. You may remove an oil counter at the beginning of combat, and a target creature you control, not necessarily this one, but could be a different one, gains an ability. Cool. Cephalopod Sentry equals the number of artifacts you control. Artifact Tribal is one of those things that I know is really, really easy, and so I generally don't do it. I try not to take the easy route. Ambulatory Edifice. One of 3 cards in the game with the word Edifice in it. As I learned looking up SRAM, Senior Edificer, he has 2 cards that are under his purview. Ambulatory Edifice. You may pay 2 life on edge of the battlefield, and if you do, a creature gets tiny. Okay. Blightbelly Rat. That's disgusting. Moving on. Vron. Executioner Thon. Vron the Thon. I know that's not how it's pronounced. I've seen Macbeth. I've done Macbeth. I know how that word's pronounced. Whenever 1 or more other creatures you control die, each opponent loses 2 life. You gain 2 life, but only once a time. Okay. There are other cards that do that better, I think. I want to say, right off the top of my head. Singing Hive Master. When it dies, create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with Toxic. When it dies. Alright. So that's Urabrask's Forge? No, it just looks like it. Oh, it is. Okay. Urabrask Forge with the signature. Gold! We love gold signatures. Sky Scythe Engulfer. Can't be blocked by creatures with flying. Titanic Growth Get Big. Get big! Lattice Blade Mantis. 2 oil counters on it. Whenever it attacks, you may order, and then untap it, and it gets +1/+1. Okay. That's easy to make happen. 4 mana. Okay. Malguap Strider. Oil counter. Remove it. It becomes an artifact creature. You can crew it with its oil. Okay. Straightforward. Minor Misstep. Counter a 1 CMC spell. That's for them fast decks. We don't play fast here. We take our time. We make wise decisions. Furnace Punisher deals 2 damage to player unless they control 2 or more basic lands. Non-basic punishment. Serum Snare. Bounce. That permanent was tiny. Proliferate. I've used that a few times. I think that maybe that makes my 4th font of progress. Had fun with that at the pre-release. Alright. Becoming more and more likely that I'm going to use it. Seeing you. Azuri, Stalker of Spheres. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay 3 and proliferate twice. When you proliferate, draw a card. That's fun. It's fun. Proliferating twice, and then you would draw 2 cards. ETB and do it for 3. So drawing 2 cards for 3 and proliferating. Find a way to blink her somehow. Ribskiff, just a vehicle that gets you a card. Another Modern Horizons list card. Force of Vigor. If it's not your turn, you may exile a green card from your hand rather than play this. Destroy up to 2 artifacts or enchantments. If it's not your turn, just pitch a card. So you can do it for free. Not if we have that 1 card out. Okay. Yeah, Modern Horizons, completely new to me because I did not touch it. It's Modern Horizons 1, so a bit older. 2019. Rebel. Okay. That is Vraska. And there's one of the anime style ones. Yeah, cool. Yeah, art card in the anime style and portrait rather than landscape. Spiders. You know how I feel about insects. Molten Rabuk. 5 damage to creature or planeswalker, or destroy an equipment. And people love their equipment these days, don't they? Planar Disruption. Detain. Hazardous Blast. Creatures your opponents control can't block. 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. So 4 for 1, splash it all around. You could clear board of tokens, maybe. Veil of Assimilation. White artifact. Whenever it enters the battlefield under your control, or another artifact, target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains Vigilance. Okay. Plated Onslaught. Affinity for artifacts. Creature control gets +2/+1. Just an instant, but it could be a cheap one. Fested Flesh Cutter. Creating those mites. Swooping Lookout. Good rate on that one. Flying Vigilance 1/2 for 1. Furnace Punisher, seeing you today. I think I have her in the Step and Compleat version, but nice to have the plain one because Step and Complete is a little lame. Gonna call him out on that. Step and Repeat, lame term. Step and Complete, you're just layering the lame on top of lame. But Hexproof, very expensive. That's a 7 cost Planeswalker for Hexproof. But a 0, draw 2 cards. Each opponent may scry 1. I'm okay with that. Doesn't change. Well, I guess they could change something if they put it down. If they don't like what they saw. But for 0, okay. The ultimate, exile target creature or enchantment if it wasn't an aura. If it wasn't an aura, create a token that's a copy of it. But it's a tiny spirit. Okay. Alright. Slabad. Sacrifice an artifact to get mana. But you can only use it for artifacts. Plague Nurse. Each other creature you control with Toxic gains Toxic 1. Because Toxics can stack, right? Multiple instances of 1 add up. Okay. If only I cared. And I don't. Phyrexian Might once again. Who are you? Never seen you before. Free from flesh. Alright. Hope to see you one day. Sick art. Spiders! Spiders! Continues Vorak. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You reveal a land card. Put them into your hand. If you didn't do it, proliferate. For 3. Okay. Pestilence Cipher, flying, Toxic 1 for 2, if you have to. There's that rat again, looking so happy. So happy to be in Phyrexia. Infectious Inquiry. Draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. Each opponent gets a poison counter. So 3, lose 2 life. But the poison counter's in the bargain, so that's not so bad. Maker's Basilisk, Death Touch, Toxic 1. Not complicated. Tainted Observer. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under control, you could pay 2 and proliferate. So that's nice. Just a proliferate engine on the battlefield. Scheming Aspirant. Whenever you proliferate, lose 2 life and gain 2 life. Okay, for only 2. Well, that's a creature. Okay. Unnatural Restoration. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand and proliferate. Permanent card from graveyard to your hand and proliferate for 2. That's pretty nice. I would pay 2 to proliferate on its own sometimes. And sometimes you do. 3, technically, but... Here's that case, but nice to see you. Also have seen him before. I think he was in the foil version as well. But hey, again, I need multiple Planeswalkers to make a consistent Planeswalker deck and constructed. So, completed. It deals X damage for the ultimate. Creates beast tokens. Okay. Fire Basilica. That's Sphere land. Just in case you wanted to use that one card that cares about spheres. Right. We will put you over there. A different Phyrexian Might. He's showing him how it's done. Y'all even got teeth? Oh, what's going on there? Dross Pits. That's another one of them lands, isn't it? Hey, there we go. An island in the sexy style. Copper long legs. Sacrifice to proliferate. Taxian Raptor. Rune oil counter to change its power out. Taxing Anatomist. Enters the battlefield, tap it to proliferate. Gleeful Demolition. Destroy an artifact if you controlled it. Make some goblins. Cacophony Scamp. Oh. Maybe deals combat damage. You can sacrifice it to proliferate. And deal some damage. What a scamp. I would call him a scamp too. That's him. Another Phyrexian Goblin Warrior, right? And enters the battlefield, another creature artifact controls, but they're going to put an oil counter, gets bigger with its oil counters. Scamps can play together. Untap target land for its oil. Interested in him. Blighted Ambassador. Gain Instructable. I think I've seen him. Commander. Looks Artillery. Whenever you cast, it gains Sunburst. Whenever you cast an artifact creature spell, it gains Sunburst, so it gets bigger if you're spending lots of mana. At the beginning of your end step, if there are 30 or more counties among artifacts and creatures you control, it deals 10 damage to each opponent. 30 or more counters among artifacts and creatures. It doesn't go away. It just pops off and then waits for the next opportunity. And it would be the next end step as well. Oh, you're fun. You're a ton of fun, aren't you? Blackcleave Cliffs. And that is that Speed land. And Sheoldred's Edict. Modal. Okay. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one to overcome. That's going to be a remove on sight now, isn't it? That makes you a target. See how you can politic that one to be okay on the board. What's going on with Johnny? Oh, he got completed too, did he? Did he get completed? He looks pretty good completed, though. Narn's Decree. Oh, what was that? No token? Is there no token on that one? Fascinating. Excellent. Fascinating. Does that mean there's a list card? Does that mean there's a list card? We'll find out. Gulping Scrap Trap. When it ETBs or dies, proliferate for 5. Stinging Hive Master. Make some mites. Incisor Glider. Could be bigger. Bonebreaker Scourge. Could have Death Touch and Lifelink. Whenever it, and Transplant Theorist, that is, enter the battlefield, you can draw a card or discard a card. Target card from the graveyard on the bottom of your library. So get something back slowly. Atmosphere Surgeon. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you get oil counters. And you can give things flying for its oil. Prosthetic Injector. Equipment. Make something toxic. Hey, Scampy. Another Scamp. There are 2 different Scamps in this set. But this one's a slightly different Scamp. Yep, seen you. Graws. Juggernaut. Juggernauts you control attack each turn of Fable. Juggernauts can't be blocked by walls. Other creatures you control are Juggernauts and big. That change your board right around. Tamio's a logbook. Draw a card. It could be cheap. Oh, interesting. It's a list or that special guest. Is that what that is? Okay. Tidia's Juniper Ascendant. It has hexproof unless it's attacking. Whenever a creature you control with reach attacks, untap it, and it can't be blocked. So basically they have vigilance and can't be blocked if they have reach. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage, draw a card, 1 or more. Okay, that's fun. That's interesting. Nice. If you don't get a token, you're going to get something fun. I'll keep that in mind. Is it a token? It is. Phyrexian Horror. And that's completed Nahiri. Yep. Completed Nahiri in the anime style. Cool. See you, Mountain. First Rider, giving creatures haste for its oil. Autonomous Furnace. Spherelands. First Skullbomb. Put 2 oil counters by sacrificing it. Draw cards. That's a pretty good sacrifice effect. That's it. Just for 2. Blazing Crescendo. Make a big exile top card of a library. opportunity. Oil counters. Draw cards equal to the number of oil counters on it when it dies. You got to plan for that. Trawler Drake. Hey, you're my good friend. I remember you. Serum Core Chimera. Is it Chimera? Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, is it's doing that? Put an oil counter on it. Put 3 oil counters off. Draw a card. Then you may discard a card. You may discard a non-land card. When you discard that card, it deals damage. So you can turn something into a lightning bolt. Drawn in Ichor. Make something tiny and proliferate. -4/-4 will deal with most threats now, won't it? Go away. White Sun's Twilight. I got like 4 Blue Sun's Twilights, but I don't think maybe I got 1 green, but none of the others. Gain X life. Create the mites. If X is 5, it's a board wipe. It's also a board wipe. And I just saw you. Okay, 1, 2, 3 left before we get to the meat of it. The greasy, oily meat. Add card. Not even a token. It's an add card. They have a disagreement. Tyvar's stand. Ah, yes. I've never seen him from that side. Meow. Draw 3 cards. Proliferate. 4, 5. Surgical base. Fear land. Draw a card and bounce. Escaped experiments. Target creature and opponent controls gets -X based on artifacts. Experimental augury. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put the rest on the bottom. Put 1 of them into your hand. Rest on the bottom. So modified scrying. Charforger. Enters the battlefield. Create a goblin. Whenever a creature goes away, you can get more oil counters. Move 3 oil counters. Exile top card of your library. You can play it. So he's doing several different things here. Magmatic Sprinter. Right, bouncing it for its oil counters. Urabrask's Anointer, new to me. It's a red Phyrexian Wizard artifact. As the battlefield deals X damage. Number of permanents you have with oil counters. Okay. Scourge boarding. Hey, I saw you before. That makes 2, and alright. That was quick. So you can see right as soon as you open it what's on the back there, and that was a token. Ooh. Who are you? Rhea Ivor. I think I only have her in the showcase version. Never seen the normal art. Yeah, swamp. Fleshless gladiator. Don't bruise that way. Return it to you lose 1 life. Could come back from the graveyard. Tyrannax Atrocity. 4/4/4/5. Haystack 3. Sinew Dancer. Got a lot of him, and that's oil. The Echor version. So he is boring to me. Flensing Raptor. Got a OED Flensing. Can't say I know that word. Flensing Raptor has a battlefield. Target creature control with Toxic gets +1/+1 and flying. Nim Razor Paladin. Get a creature back from your graveyard. Chittering Skittling. I love that. Chittering Skittling. Sacrifice another creature, draw a card. Check for artifact or could you turn anything into like a clue or something? Okay. Schlauter Stinger. Toxic friends get bigger. Yep. Turn X-Rex. I think I have 2 of these guys. This can't be countered and got all the things going on. Trample, Toxic 4, Ward 4, Haste. Again, if only I liked Toxic. Urabrask's Forge. Right. Beginning of your upkeep, put an oil counter and make a progressively bigger horror creature. But it goes away. And that's Urabrask's Anointer. Seen him. Alright, down to the last here. What'll it be? It is a token. It's a token, so no list or fun card this time. And we have... He is not expecting that. Gold Warden's Gambit. The Gambit is, hey, hide behind the pillars here. Someone's gonna come by eventually. It's quite a gambit, sir. Meldweb Strider, seen him. Copper long legs, proliferate, Cataxian Raptor, seen. Belated Ambassador, yep. Annex Sentry. Ability 3, you can take something away temporarily. Distorted Curiosity. This spell costs 2 less to cast if an opponent has 3 opposing counters. So it could be a 1 mana, draw 2. Nahiri's Sacrifice. Sacrifice a thing, deal X damage around. That Mere Convert that can become a Phyrexian source of mana. Alright, last couple of who knows. Filigree Silex. I do have that one. Yep, that's the bomb. Deals 10 damage to any target or destroy each non-land permanent with mana value equal to the number of oil counters on it. So if that's on the board, keep an eye on how many oil counters are on it. And Rebel Salvo. Alright. So yeah, I got 2 of those. And that Conduit of Worlds. Soulless Jailer. That's a lot of fun. And this guy. If you want to go wide. Alright, some interesting stuff there. Nothing wild, though. But we've all been waiting for this. This is what we're in it for. Really? So let's do it. Of course, there are the 10 lands that are hot. Raised oil slick lands. What's going to be on top? Are the lands on top? I can feel them. I feel that under there. I feel that. I feel the raising. Lands are on top. Thank you. Yeah, that's pretty nice. That is some good stuff right there. It's a little chunk taken out of that one. Just a little nick on that one. I forgive you. You're just white after all. Let's make some space. Clear the way here. So them plains. That's the island version. You got the landscape in the back. Hard to see. The landscape is in the back there. See one swamp there. Maybe it got out of order. Should have 2 of those. Yeah, it got out of order. But that's alright. Get that forest is just reinforcing that theme there. It's just vines all over the place. And so 1 there. And 1 there. Alright, didn't look at those. Right, nice. Really loving that. Really loving those. That's a nice thing to have in the battlefields. Put them together with these guys here. They play well together, I would say. It's just kind of standing out a little more. Yeah, real nice. Alright, so these guys, these special oil slick versions that you don't know what they're going to be. So let's see here. What do we got? This one was on top, and it is Staff of Completion. It does all the things. Pay 1 life, destroy. Pay 2 life, add 1 mana like a Phyrexian. Pay 3 life, proliferate. Play 4 life, draw a card. And 5 to untap it. So it does all manner of things. For 3 mana. Fun, like that one. And here we go. It is Jace the Perfected Mind. I have him in the vanilla version. Nice. And he's that triple milling. Again, I was thinking of doing a mill deck on myself. I am not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Cool. You can barely see his face, though. He's shrouded there. Cool, that's really neat. Yeah, this was really, really hot. You pull one of those cards out in a game, it's gonna stop. It's gonna stop people for a second. Nice. That's that Jace there. And he has the rainbow effect as well. Very nice. Even his +1, and -3/-0 on a target creature, it could really stall someone out. Just for the +1. Great. All right. So that is all for today. Right. I'm going to find a place for these immediately, somewhere in some deck. Again, I think, much like the Dominaria United showcase lands, I think I have enough of these Phyrexian lands of varying kinds to make it all, use all of them in one deck. To have a consistent theme. I'm a land collector. That's one of the reasons I was into this, is that I am a land collector. Whenever I'm at a pre-release, I'm looking through the little land station for ones that I've never seen before, ones that I skipped or flew into my radar. So yes. Hello, Jace. All right, that is all for today. Yeah, that's some real interesting ones. That was well worth the wait, I think. So I hope you had a good time today. I know I did. And let's see what we can do with these. See you next time.